All right, and we're back. Hopefully everybody just listened to the radio show that we did on WDKN. I had Seth in the studio with us. We had a great conversation. It went a little bit long, but we still had more that we wanted to talk about. So we hit record, and we're back for this fourth segment. And Seth is actually going to tell us the dates and some big info. You're announcing here live.
This is it.
You're telling us what's going on.
I've sat down. I have I've gone over some dates and done some stuff, and just trying to finalize exactly what I wanted to do throughout the year. But the first one we're going to do is March 19th in the Art Walk for the St. Patrick's Day event with House of Brews and House of Vines downtown. We did it with them last year as well. It went over really well. So that was a huge learning experience for me on that. And then also the next one's going to be May 21st, and then that's going to be in the funeral home parking lot. We're going to do an art walk there. I have music planned all day, and I've got some other activities stuff going on that day. That's Saturday, May 21st. It's also my birthday, so that's kind of where I was.
It'll be a fun day.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun day. And then the next one's going to be our first movie in the park night, which will be the last Friday of July, which is July 29th. It's going to be exactly like we did last year, shutting down Clement Street right there with some food trucks and a few art vendors and stuff. I've got I have a movie planned. I'm going to show The Brave Little Toaster, and I'm going to have kids create toaster characters, kind of like the Brave Little Toaster. And I've got some businesses that's already donated some gift certificates for the parents and the kids, so that way it'll get parents and kids, so that way you're not just working for something for the kids, but for yourself, for parents as well, so that's going to be kind of cool. I will announce more of this stuff as we get closer. The second movie night will be August 26th, and that's a Friday evening as well. Still up in the air about a movie for that. I have something planned, really not sure yet, but it's still going to be fun. Same thing, food trucks on Clement Street, of just a handful of art vendors and stuff. And then I've got October 29th, which will be an art walk, and it'll be at the funeral home. That's because that's going to be in the same day as Boo Fest. So in the past, stuff has worked out really well with me there. So I'm going to do music all day, live music all day, and then do like an art walk right there as well on Halloween. So that'll be on Saturday as well. This should be pretty fun. So pretty excited.
There's a lot to look forward to.
There's a lot, yeah. And and I'll be honest with you, announcing stuff throughout the year is still kind of, a lot of these dates and stuff are kind of up in the air. So it's because you don't know, like things could happen, and I hate to, I've even spoke with my vendors and stuff. I've changed some of my personal policies dealing with them this year, because, a lot of times they have cancellations and stuff like that. And then when you say, if you send money back and forth through PayPal, like we both lose money and stuff like that. And it's hard for me, to, once again, rules and regulations, man. It's like, if, I'm sorry you canceled, but, within reason, like if you give me a couple weeks notice or a week or two notice, then usually I do refunds, but if it's like a couple of days, I'm sorry, like this is, I have to fill those spots and I have to do stuff, but you have to firm but fair, so hopefully this year, some things that I've ran into in the past, dealing with my vendors to help both of us, we'll do that. So, that's why I've been kind of hesitant about, announcing dates for a whole year, so just because,
especially in the era of COVID, you've had to change a lot of things. But yeah, I think it's a really good thing that you're trying to plan for a normal year, and hopefully those dates will hold. But you never know.
And as we get closer to each one, I'll get back on here and we'll talk. I'll tell you what's going on with all of my stuff and with all my events, so that way we'll keep people in the know for sure.
We'll definitely get you to come on when we get a little closer and we've got all the details lined up, so that you can really tell the people and so they can make their plans. But I think people are I know it went really well last year, and I think people are looking forward to this
I'm
upcoming
working on.
season.
I've got a newsletter. I've got a newsletter putting out and stuff like that. So just to keep people informed, especially in downtown area. Me personally living downtown, and other people living downtown. You have to keep those people informed of what's going on. They need day sheets on top of what's going on, so that way they can plan their drives, or if something happens and they have an emergency, people can plan. Like, these are things that, information is huge, and getting the right information to the people that need it is the biggest. Just communication. That's the key. So you got to talk. You take care of your town will take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think you're absolutely right. And I'm looking forward to, even more events coming up and really establishing these as traditions. I'm a real traditional guy. I love the history of our county. I love, the traditions, but that doesn't mean we can't make new ones. And I say that all the time. I mean, I respect the past, absolutely, but don't be afraid to create something new.
Yep.
And that's what I really love about what you're doing, because, like I said before, we were here back when there wasn't a whole lot going on in downtown, and now now there's a lot happening, and it's really fun. But really finding ways to get people downtown and reasons to bring people together, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
It's fun to see our old friends from high school, and it's fun to see the people that we grew up with. Now they've got their kids, and it's a whole other generation, and it's just fun to get out and have a reason to go downtown at the same time as everybody else. And the events are fun, and I love, meeting the vendors and trying out new things. But I think most of all, I just love seeing the people, and just meeting new people and seeing our old friends. And, and I've gotten to know some of the new people in the area, and we love new people as well. We love our town and our traditions, and we're fine with new people moving in and becoming a part of that as well. But there's just something about Dixon that I think is special, and it's obviously special to the people that have been here a long time. But I think it's also becoming special to some new people as well, and giving them some new traditions to be a part of that they can look back on years later and be like, I remember the first art walk, or I remember the first street festival.
Yeah, that's cool what that's kind of what I'm hoping. I do. I want these things to grow, and that someday I can hand them off to somebody, because you can't do them forever, and but the easiest way is just to just create something good for the next generation. Is all we can do. So
I heard a saying one time: we're all standing in the shade of trees planted by someone else.
True story.
And so we all kind of have to, and that's one reason why I do the stories in the newspaper.
Kind of like all them trees down there on 96 when he put them all down there in the bottom. I'll never forget when he planted all
over
those
by Beechwood, right?
Yeah, they're all the rows. I remember when he planted those trees. I remember that because they were going to put a loop of the 840 right there, because I grew up just on the holler, the next holler over. And and now he's cleaned it all up. It looks good. That's true statement.
It's funny what we remember, especially us being Burns boys and all.
Yeah, well, and that's what like I was saying. It's we've seen all these fields. We've and then all these forests and all these it's just like we're seeing all these new houses, and it kind of wears on you. And people don't think about that. That's not the things that people think about, because it's. Like I said, we have friends and family that's buried on the side. Their crosses is on the side of the roads. It's like we've got memories everywhere. And it's once you see those things starting to go away, then it really wears on you. And especially here we are almost 40, trying to. I hate to say that, but and it's just like, okay, we're having a midlife crisis, seeing all these things and these changes, and I hate to I don't want to turn into one of them old men that just, shake your hand at everybody.
Well, eventually, I think we do become those old men, but one thing that I've learned from talking to a lot of those guys, that's where I get a lot of my newspaper stories and stuff from, talking to the older generation, but, think back to what Dixon was like for them.
Yes.
In the old days.
Yeah.
There was a time when Dixon really was just the downtown area, and then right there where Huck's is, and, where the bypass runs. Those were kind of like the borders of town. Yeah. And just imagine, as we get into the 50s and the 60s, when we really start to spread out, how some people are probably thinking, this is not, what I thought it was. And,
Dixon.
And that growth came, and they dealt with it, and it still has the charm, I think, that it probably once did. Some of that anyways. But...
Dixon did not have zoning and planning until 1973, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I've learned this in the past few weeks. I think it was 73 or 72 or 73. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I thought I was like, that's actually, in the grand scheme of things for a town, that's actually not that long ago.
No, and well, people don't realize that Highway 46, which is probably the busiest road in Dixon County, I would say, which has got mostly commercial and all those businesses on it, is actually one of the newer highways that was built after the interstate, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember my history right.
Yeah.
I haven't done research on this lately, but if I remember correctly, that was one of the last roads built, and that's where most of our commercial area is. And so I'm not really surprised by that, but that just goes to show you how fast things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And how fast things change. And that's just another reason why it's important to.
Yeah, Burger King used to have that big thing when I was a kid, the big play area where you could go up in it and like go around, and it had the bars.
Go around.
Yeah, I remember that. And it's coming back home. It was a little hard, and it was a little adjustment for me and the town, obviously. But good thing, like I said, you take care of your town will take care of you, and that's the same thing with people, and like I said, my motto is I water you and you water me, we grow together, and we just gotta one day at a time. That's all you can do.
Well, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, no worries.
I won't keep you forever. We've had a good conversation, and I want to thank you for what you do for Dixon County and keeping it local and keeping it special.
You're the one getting it out there too. You're making your foothold.
We all have our own thing.
And we all have our own thing.
Mine is kind of retelling some history, and now it's getting people to come on the radio and talk about why they love Dixon County.
And that's kind of why I actually started that hip dope city as a joke, and then it actually turned into something. Everybody was like, what are you trying to get me into? And I was like, no, like, and that's a very small group of just people that I know, and that, it's like you have to have an invite, and it's I try to put all of the information that people can have in there, and it's, because everything in these hip groups just get just buried with all the BS. And, so it's like with that group, you can get the real story of what's going on, and it's like, from the city and what's happening, and, and because the information needs to be free to people and be able to get to them, and that's one thing that I believe, and hopefully that's something we can work on in the future.
Yeah, I hope so. I think we're on the right track, and people like me and you are trying to do our thing here in Dixon, and who knows who else will contribute something else to it.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking. You've done the events, and I'm trying to do other things. And the more people that try to make Dixon a good place, the better it's going to be. And I just appreciate everybody who's started new businesses and who's done something in recently to try to make the county and the city and all the areas around here better, because it takes not just one, not just two, but everybody trying to work together to the same goal. And I think we're getting there. And I appreciate you working with everybody downtown and getting these events going, and I'm sure you'll come back on with us a little bit later in the year. And
I want to give a shout out to, I have one person that works for me. Her name is Alex, and she is actually a Dixon native too. Her family, her grandfather started A1 Signs way back in the day. Yeah, she's really cool. She owns Indigo, Tennessee. All her stuff is in high cotton. She makes these really cool candles, and that's like, and these her art forms all over the place. It's really cool. But I want to give her a shout out. Go check out her stuff. It's indigotennessee.com. Alex Hollis, she's great. She actually owe her a lot. She actually runs my social media for me, because Lord knows I need to stay off social media.
We probably all do. I know I do for sure. I try to be as least.
That's why they call me the mouth. Lord of mercy.
As least controversial as possibly be nowadays.
You can't cook without stirring the pot, and I just stir more than I can with a toothpick than most people can with a boat paddle.
Wow. That's a very southern way to put it.
All right, yeah.
I guess so. That'll do it. We got to end on that.
We got to end on that.
Thanks for coming in. We'll get you back on. Hope everybody's enjoyed this. I like doing this little extra bit. This was fun, cool. And hopefully we can do some more of that. So, Seth, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Cheers.